Alright, today is the last day of Enlisted. Alright, today is the last day of Enlisted. Yeah, echo. Okay. Yeah, so this will be the last day. A last day streaming, of course. When I played it, it's the last day of me playing this at all. Um, that's something else entirely. So, this is the last day of me streaming this. Um, which is pretty good because for an entire week, um, I played it since the beginning of Veterans Day. I played it from the Veterans Day all the way till today. So today will be the last day. So yeah, I would say from Sunday all the way to Sunday, but I didn't play on Sunday. I started on a Monday. So and did start on Monday, ended on a Monday. Um, yeah, it's a good game, and today is the advanced tutorial of squads, and this applies to all squad except for vehicle squads. I don't have enough time to do tutorials for planes or any more tutorials for tanks and stuff, but I can at least do one more advanced tutorial, and this applies to any troops, even for planes and even for tanks, as long as you have a soldier in your party or soldiers in your party. This tutorial applies to anyone who has a gun and is running and gunning, whether they get out of a tank or get out of a plane, or they're just on the field. So you probably, I mean, if you play Enlisted, you already know about this stuff, but I'm gonna do it anyway because there are ways to do it, and some people will never tell you. And I also unlocked the assault squad, so some people will never tell you this. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So as you see, my movement speed with regards to character is all over the place. So if I was to aim here and aim here, it'll be crazy. It's crazy. So to adjust this, just for looking around to see where the enemy is, you wouldn't go control aim speed. You would go motion sensor aim speed. Because if you go control center aim speed, it'll go even crazier. So you move that down, lower that. I'm going to lower that here. So now it's still crazy. And I'll decrease the aim mode sensitivity multiplier as well. Or what? Not aiming. Um, Controller aim speed. I'll decrease that just a little. So decrease this and just decrease this as well. That allows you to have more control. See, now it's not all over the place. And that's very important because if you're aiming over here and you're running and the guy comes up behind you, you want to turn around fast. But you don't want to turn around so fast that you completely swing past the guy that was standing right in front of you because you decide to make the controller sensitivity ridiculously high. So you want it to be just fast enough for you to spin around fast to see to your left or to your right, but never too fast. That is so ridiculous that you cannot pay attention to your surroundings. So I'm running over here. Someone shoot me from the back. I turn around, I see him. So that's good enough, because if I turn around too fast, if I spin around too fast, and I do it, I want to spin around as fast as I can, but not so fast that it would go past, me being able to get a good lock on. Because the moment I spin all the way to my back, I should be able to lock into aim and sights and down. So I'm going to go here. Someone shoot me from the back. I spin around. See, it goes a little bit down here. That's because I wasn't aiming. So someone shoot me in the back. I spin around here. And I stop halfway there So someone shoot me in my back, spin around there, stop halfway there. Someone shoot me in my back, I spin around here. So it really depends on how long you're willing to hold this. Like if you're quickly pressing it to go, like quickly press it just to turn just a little, like 1-2 seconds, it will always go there. Or if you go 1-2 seconds, it will never fully go behind. So you really have to adjust the sensitivity to where you want it to be, but never so high enough that it's all over the place ridiculously. I think this might actually do it. This will actually do it. There. That does it. So that's the one thing. I'm taking fire. I'm taking fire. Where the hell is the enemy shooting from? Oh, he's shooting from you from the back corner. Those bullets represent characters. Like one represents a machine gunner and 4 riflemen, and one is like a launcher. So those are characters. So when you see a skull on one of them, that means one of them has gone down and is using a med pack to heal himself. So if you see someone go down, that means you gotta go and cover that point by pressing the double square.
Okay, we have to hold that point.
Yes, Roger that, yes, sir.
Put them there, find the guy that shot at you, and a good indication to know in this advanced tutorial is wherever you hear the bullet coming from, that's the direction the enemy is shooting from. If it sounds like the bullet's coming from the left, but behind you, that's where the character is. If the sound like it's coming from the right, but behind you, that's where that person is shooting from. It's kind of more difficult to see it shooting from the front or from people close to you because they're right in front of you. But when it comes to distance, like a sniper or something, you could know where they're coming from because you hear the bullet traveling through the air at velocity, so you know that they're shooting you from behind or to the left or to the right or to the front. You could hear this. That's why anytime you're aiming down sights and someone where you shot them, and you're saying, how do they know where they were being shot? That's because they hear the bullets, because they have headphones on. They hear where the bullets are coming from, so they automatically know, because the people who made the game made it in a way so that you could know where that bullet is coming from. So that's what you have to do. So increase or decrease your controller sensitivity. I would never suggest going it all the way up here because that's ridiculous. 2 and 8 is ridiculous, which means you look at that. I mean, you will turn fast, but sometimes if he's directly behind you, you would turn so fast you would completely miss him. It's like, okay, he's behind me. Boom. Look. Not only did you turn behind you, but you turned behind you at a 45 degree. So you miss him who was directly behind you because you're all the way at a 2 and 8. So this is very good for when you're in combat, but not so good for when you when you're trying to get someone at close quarters. If they're close to you, you could completely miss them, and even when they're far, you could completely miss them. So you have to adjust it and adjust it. I'm gonna put mine at a 1 and a 5 and see how that works. I take a shot from behind. Someone shot me from behind. That's good. 1 and 5. Someone shot me from behind. Spin. Still not that good. Let's try. One 8. I believe this is good. Someone shot me from behind. Yeah, that's pretty good. Because it's going crazy. See how fast it's going? If someone was to watch this like in a stream and be in combat, they would get dizzy. But this is imperative for you to not get down so quickly. So I'm not going to put it at this much speed because if anyone was to watch this video and I'm actually in combat at this 1.8, they would get a headache. So I'm going to lower it to 115. It's not a good idea, but you would get a headache. People who play this game and could quick turn, it's probably more than likely they're not streaming. So that's how you quick turn. Now another thing I discovered, the game does have where you could switch out between where you could switch your controls with regards to your sippy sip, with regards to your grenades, with regards to picking up and throwing a grenade back, which is very important. So I'm going to do something. So picking up and throwing a grenade is usually the R3 button, but which is this button, the hit button. But I remove it and I put it at triangle, which is just to switch back to your weapon button. So switching back to your main weapon is also the grenade button. So you want to do that because some people say use the shoot button for throwing back grenade. But guess what? If someone's right in front of you and you're shooting them, like da, 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 da,
Need cover!
and let's say that's a grenade, and you're shooting, unless you've run out of bullets, then you'll be able to pick it up and then you'll be able to throw it. Because if you haven't picked up, if you are not out of bullets and they throw a grenade and you're not out of bullets and you accidentally didn't lock on to where that grenade fell on the ground, you're going to shoot towards where the grenade is on the ground. You're not going to set it off, but the bullets are going to come out if your weapon instead of you using the R2 button for picking up grenades, because you switch it to the shot. I see some guys do this, and you'll end up shooting the grenade rather than pick it up and then throw it back in the air, because you decided to make the shoot button the same button as the throwback grenade button. So I would go with the triangle for this. So I'm going to do it. I'll switch to a guy. I'll switch to this guy. And I'm gonna describe how to do the quick switch as well. You know what? I'm not gonna get into that yet. That's too advanced. Actually, it really isn't. So I'm gonna throw this, aim down sights. The guy's over there. I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna run to it. I'm gonna press the triangle button. See, I picked it up, but I was too late. So if it drops right next to you and it's not too far from you, like if it drops close to your squad and it's not far from you, could run 1, 2, 3, pick it up and throw it, and have enough time before it goes off. Never run towards a grenade that's more than 5 paces in front of you, because the time you pick it up, the time you go and throw it back, you pick it up and throw it back, it explodes in the air, and it's right in front of you, exploding in the air. So if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're already fucked up. So you want to be like 1, 2, and grab it and then throw it, or 1, 2, 3, grab it and throw it. 5 seconds is too late for throwing back a grenade. So I'm gonna switch to another guy, try it. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, I'll throw it here. 1, 2. I missed it. See what I mean? If you're in this critical situation, if you don't grab that thing at the exact moment it drops on the floor, because I assumed I grabbed it, but I didn't know that I didn't grab it. So that's why it's important to grab it when it's close to you and not when it's far, because even though I missed it, I still have enough time to run away from it before it goes off. This does not work with exploding grenades on contact. This works with timer grenades, like this grenades that takes about, after you throw it, 5 seconds on the ground, then they explode. And of course that dynamite as well. It works with those. It doesn't work with instantaneous grenade, and it doesn't work with Molotov cocktails. But you have to grab it 2 seconds in front of you. Never run at a long distance, because it's not only about the time it takes to kill you, it's also the time it takes for you to run away before the impact of the area kills you as well. Always grabbing a grenade when it's close to you, and never like a good distance from you. At 5 paces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what I just did, I switched characters. So here's how you switch characters, and it's effective, because this is effective. And I've realized this is very effective, because when you switch and you give your character, give all your men a pistol, you switch and you give them a pistol, they instantaneously go towards their secondary weapons. Which means if someone shoot you, go this guy, and this guy, and then you're body swapping, like it's like you're duplicating yourself, body swapping. He eventually will know you'll swap to every single one of these guys before you have no more troops. So he'll shoot this guy, he knows the timer for which it takes for the time for you, which you have to switch from this guy to this guy to this guy. So if your hotkeys takes forever, if you're holding down this button, or if you're holding down this button and then switch to this and then you switch, he already know he has about a full 2 seconds before he could kill each and every one of them before you switch. So what you want to do is, when you take your controller, go towards switching characters, squad, It says switch characters, and you use this button, which is your left button, and I've made this button the switch button because it just takes 1 second. Press it once, you're already this guy. Press it once, already this guy. And not only do you not switch to another character almost instantaneously, you switch to the other character and you have your weapon out. So you switch to the secondary character, and you have to really aim down sights with this one. You can, because this has more accuracy with regards to how many rounds you could cap off rather than rifle that caps one off. See what I mean? Switch. He doesn't have one. Switch. 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 See, he doesn't have them. So that's how that works. 1 second, switch.
All right,
1 second, switch.
Hold that position.
Have all you guys have a secondary weapon, because if you switch off from your primary, you'll lose your primary. So when they switch off, make sure they have a secondary weapon that they switch off to.
My magazine's empty. Reloading.
That way, the moment the guy shoots every one of your squad members, and he gets to your last guy, and you switch off to your last guy, he gets a face full of bullets or a stomach full of bullets because you have your secondary weapon switch to your switch characters button all at the same time. And that's how that works. So when you're using controller, make sure your switch button is the same button as your secondary weapon button, because then you could cap off and then you could switch back to your primary weapon. And of course, like I said, throwing back grenade will always be a triangle, because it's not really a good idea to use this if you have bullets in your magazine, especially if you have an automatic and you go to grab the grenade and you try to grab the grenade because you have the grenade, or should I say you have the grab button to be that same button as the shoot button. You grab it, boom, you get yourself a kill. So never make it R2. Also, with this advanced tutorial, I'm going to go into something else. Let's see what else here. There's something else I forgot. Was the weapons? What else did I switch? Canteens, yes. Another advanced tutorial with regards to fighting in Enlisted. Typically when you hold the up button, it's for drinking canteens. And it also is for using your binoculars. But as you notice, I'm pressing the up button for canteens, and binoculars are not popping up, even though I'm holding for binoculars because I have no more canteen water. So what I did is I switched the canteen button with the binoculars button. So when I press up, I'm never interrupted by secondary command binded to that button with regards to sipping and binoculars. So I separated the binoculars from the sipping. And you could do that for other things as well, secondary weapons, knives and stuff. So my binoculars is now this button is now my right directional button. My left is switched to characters, and my binoculars is now hold on the right stick. I mean, not the right stick, the right directional button. Hold on it and it pops up. Another good thing about doing that is when your typical command for switching characters is this button right here, which is the right directional button, you then have to switch to characters. But here's the best part about that. The binoculars command, if you have hold on this and you have a character that has a binoculars, it cancels this out. So you never have to worry about switching characters using this if you already switched to characters using the left directional button. So by default, it will always place the right directional button as switch characters, but if you have a binoculars, that cancels this out and you never switch because the binoculars is on. So that's a nice little advanced way of doing that as well. And of course the down button is healing yourself. So that's that. What else? Okay, so switch, binoculars, heals is down, up is sippy sip, pistol is this, primary is this, What else? Tagging, already tagged. Oh yes, one other thing with regards to tagging. It's
Defend that point.
it's pointless to put like 3 of them.
We'll go.
I've learned that there's a kind of a glitch in the game. If you have a lot of characters on the field and you put down 3, 1, 2, 3, you can have a maximum of 3. For some reason, your last guy in your group starts bugging out and going back and forth, running back and forth like he's crazy or something. So it's always a good idea to just aim with 1, because it doesn't really matter if you put 3 down. They're going to aim towards the last location where you put the first one down. So there's no point to put 3 down. They're always going to aim towards the last one. So if I put 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter if there are 3 up now. They're going to aim towards this one over here, and they're going to ignore the other 2. So if you put the next 2 additional ones on the field, it will be for people who are not within your squad, because typically your squad mates will aim towards the last place you put that waypoint marker down. Not the first one, not the second one, but the last one. So it's best to just put 1 down for your squad, and then the other 2 down for additional other people to see. But remember, the last one you put down is where the squad is going to aim towards. So the first 2, let's say the first 2 is 1, 2, 3. That's for the other 2 people or other squads that are not in your squads, and the last one will be towards your squad. So the third and the last one will always be the squad. So what most people do, they just put 1 down, because they know there's no point to put 3 down anyway, because the bots are going to always aim towards the last command that you made, which will be the last waypoint. So that's pretty much that for that. And also, let's say I throw a grenade on the ground, and I took damage. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, I completely died. Okay. Well, what happens is this. If I survive this. Nope, I didn't survive that one. All right, so let's try the next guy. Too close. Okay, now if I go down and I press double tap on the square, the same command for defend this point, the same command you use for defend a point, which is double tap on the square
You have to
button.
hold that point.
Once you go down, and if you're not completely dead, you double tap
All
on the
right,
square
at any cost, hold that position.
Yes, sir.
We'll go.
when you go down. The same command you put for hold the position, for defend the position, you go down and you're not completely dead, you double tap it again, and then one of your squad members will come back to heal you. And this is highly recommended, and you can find this online as well, because they heal you much faster than you heal yourself. So let's see how long it takes for me to heal myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, so it takes about 5 to 6 seconds for you to heal yourself. In combat, it might take a little bit longer depending on the damage. If you take heavy damage, it might take a little bit longer. But if you take light damage, it will take you about 5 seconds. But if your squad mate comes over to heal you, that 5 seconds is now like 3 seconds or something like that. So the moment you go down and you haven't fully died, and members in your squad are still alive, and they're not far from you, they're like right next to you, you could press double click the square for them to come over and heal you, and then you could press the heal button by pressing down to heal yourself during the same time, because you don't know if they're going to die before they even get to you. So it's best to heal yourself while waiting for them to heal you, because they will, if they're very close to you, they will heal you before your time period for you healing yourself is over. So that's pretty much it for the advanced tutorial with regards to this game. Um, I learned that the best solution with regards to switching characters is to make sure the switch is 1 second. Never make sure the switch is more than 1 second. And if you're going to switch, let's say your secondary weapon is not a pistol arrows, it's an automatic weapons, equip everyone with a automatic weapon as well. So, and or let's say you don't want your characters to have pistol arrows. You want them to all have automatics. You would then disarm the pistol from the pistol um, slot because all your characters have for their primary automatics. Another way you could solve that problem as well, because the automatics shoot off more rounds per second than the pistol arrows does. The pistol arrows is only there because it shoot off more rounds than the rifle does. But also the rifle does more damage, but it's more than likely that at close range you will hit them more than once with a pistol, and if you will hit them with a rifle. And if they like have even 1% of health before they go down, it's more likely that at close range you will hit them with that pistol and you will with that rifle, unless the rifle is an automatic, and unless the person who's using said rifle, if they're going to be using a one-shot rifle, is using not a controller but a PC board, or their settings is for their setup with regards to their characters is so good they don't have to worry about it. But for people who are shitty at aiming in the game, I'm not going to be confident with a one-shot weapon from a rifle. It needs to be an automatic or something that could fire at a high a high speed. So I think that's pretty much it for the advanced tutorial with regards to using squads in combat. Um, yeah, and of course mounting weapons is typically, as you see here, L2 and R3 at the same time. So if you have like an automatic and you want to go down, you could hold down and then press this, and it's now mounted. So it's now mounted. So unless you move your body and you realize, you see, you can't move your body. You can only move when you start crawling. But here, you press it, it's now mounted. So you could move, but it's ill-advised. So aim down sights, hold this, you're now mounted. You're not going to move from this position, which means you're aiming. With regards to where you are, it's going to be more accurate because it's mounted. It's better than trying to not be mounted. See, now that I've took myself out of aim down sights, the character is still in mounted mode. So typically, the only way to get out of it is to move your body. So that's how that works. Now, I was thinking like, well, okay, well, what if I do that? No, it won't work. Only control breathing would work with this. Ah, okay, wait. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. Yes, yes, yes. I remember I changed it. Yeah, I think it's for squad or for characters, weapons. Breathing. Has to put it back to the way it was. I mean, it's fine for it to be L3, but I feel more confident with it being R3. Push objects, weapon, shoot, aim, zoom, breath control. I'm gonna make this R3. Okay. That's beautiful. But that's bad as well. Because look at that. The melee stab. No, actually that's pretty good. Yeah, you have to hold it. If you just go for the breath, he will then go for a stab. So you have to hold it and then shoot. Yeah, you have to hold it. So you can't just breathe and then, yeah, you can't just press it once and then let go because you go for the stab. So that's beautiful. All right, so that's pretty much it for the advanced tutorial with regards to this game. I'm trying to think of anything else that the squad members can do. Of course, they could disassemble objects and targets. Um, let's say someone mounted up a radio comm or a gun. They're typically going to, if you look at an object within an enemy location, you would hear a comm radio. You run up to the comm radio, disarm the comm radio like this. You can pick up
Defend
weapons.
that point.
So,
Sir, yes, sir. Okay, we have to hold that point. Yes. Damn, my magazine's empty. Reloading.
square is also for picking up weapons. So, square is not only for tagging the
Defend that
ground.
point.
Square is not only for like having someone call someone over to revive you. Square is also for like picking up random weapons on the field. Now, dropping your weapons, like let's say you've used a weapon and you found a better weapon within the vicinity. Let's say the enemy has a better weapon. You could pick up the enemy's weapon once you kill them and drop your own weapon, or you'll pick up their weapon and your weapon will automatically drop. But if you want to voluntarily drop your weapon, which is an automatic, let's say you carrying an automatic and you found a better automatic, you would drop that automatic weapon and your squad members will pick it up, or someone not in your squad will pick it up because your bots cannot pick up that stuff. But let's say another ally within your infantry has run another person playing the game, saw that gun when you dropped it, they could pick it up. So to pick up guns is square. I believe to drop a weapon, let's see if I remember clearly. Fire. Is it in other? I think it's in other. Yeah, drop gun. So drop gun doesn't have a command, but you could decide what command it would be. So it's up to you to decide. Sometimes it's really finicky because every one of your buttons has an important command. So whatever you're going to do, especially when it comes to your weapon, you have to make sure that you definitely want to use that button to drop your gun. So I'm going to try and make the center D-pad the drop button, drop my weapon, and it'll see if it'll work. It does not work. Alright, so that does not work. So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to clear this. And let's say I'm going to make L3 the drop button. Yeah, because not all the time you're going to be pushing objects, and of course, dropping a weapon is not going to interrupt with sprint, I believe. So let's see. Okay. Actually, no. That's a
All
very
right,
bad
at any
idea.
cost, hold that position.
Next thing you know,
We'll
you
go.
run and all of a sudden you're running and realize you dropped the weapon because you put the drop weapon with the sprint. So that's a very the drop. But you there's a reason why the drop button doesn't have a command, because every single command on your controller is essential and important. If you pick the drop button as your, well, maybe that will work because you cannot. I wonder if you could drop your med kit. Clear. I doubt it.
Defend that point. I got it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you didn't drop the med kit. But then again, does this guy have the med kit on him? Hold on. There's only one way to find out. Oh, too close. Okay. Nope. Still not enough damage. Not enough damage. Alright, so I need more damage. And I need to test if my medkits. So this is the only one I did not test.
I'm on it.
The drop weapon. So. Okay. So, gonna throw. Wait, did I pick up a grenade? I did. Okay. Is that guy's not allowed to have a grenade? Oh, I didn't pick up the grenade. Because I switched to a character that doesn't.
Hold that position. We'll go. Yes, sir.
Nope. None of them picked up the grenade. Okay. Let me go to the ammo box.
Let's grab
Okay.
your hammers.
Alright, now. Throw it over here. Let's see. Okay, still not enough damage.
We'll finish it now. We'll go.
Nope, still too much. Shit.
Let's set this up. Sir, yes, sir.
Okay, should be good. Still too much. Jesus. Okay. Now let's see if I'll drop my weapon. Okay. So the med kit works. The med kit works. The med kit works. Perfect. Med kit works. So if you want to drop a weapon, I would suggest binding it with the medkit button, because the medkit button does not interrupt your sippy sip, does not interrupt your pistoleros, does not interrupt your using binoculars, does not interrupt your running, does not interrupt you throwing grenades with the L1, does not interrupt you giving commands with the R1, which is this, which commands to different squads that are not on your team, or even to your own squad. Does not interrupt that. It does not interrupt aiming down sight with the L2 or firing with the R2. So yeah, I would suggest, if you're going to put a button to be the drop weapon button, I would put it along with the medkits because you cannot drop the medkit. The medkit is binded to you permanently. You can't drop that whatsoever at all. Maybe if you have secondary medkits you can, but it's perfect that way. And that should be the end of this tutorial. That's pretty much everything you need to know. Picking up weapons, taking down enemy comms, healing yourself or having an ally heal yourself, switching off whatever up, down, left, or right on the D-pad. Not yeah, on the directional buttons on your PlayStation controller for the preferred ones you want. Up being the sippy sip, down being the healing, down also being dropping weapons. But guess what? Like if you accidentally I don't know. I don't like it. I still don't like it either. I still don't like that either. I mean, let's say I try to heal myself and all of a sudden I drop my weapon while I'm healing myself. There has to be, I mean, it makes because if I combine it with the binoculars, then when I go for the binoculars to drop, it has to be a specific button that's not binded or a task that's menial, that's not necessary for combat. Circle is crouch, that's very important. Triangle is switching weapons, that's important. X is jump, that's also important. So every button seems to be important except the center D-pad, and it doesn't allow you to drop the weapon in the center D-pad. So let me try it again. To drop weapon. Let's try center D. That doesn't want to work. I hold down on it. I press at various different angles. It doesn't allow it. So that doesn't work. So it's really a choice that you'll need to make because your up, down, left, and right and your directional pads are all necessary for doing certain specific things. You want to drink because you're exhausted. You need to heal yourself, so you have to press down. You need to switch your primary pistolero, so you press the left directional button. You need to use your binoculars, so you press the right directional button. Every button is necessary. So it's really up to you which button is going to press for dropping and not dropping. And I believe that's the reason why the drop button didn't have a command attached to it, because um, it would interrupt other binding commands. So if you're going to use this, you have to be very careful because you might drop your weapons completely, and the only way to know that you did drop your weapon is by seeing if you did drop it while you're in combat. So I'm going to not do that, but if I guess I could test it off in my first, I'm going to test it in combat and see how it works. I'm going to test in combat and see how it works. See, because even if you hold on it to heal yourself, it drops it. Even if you switch to the TNT, he drops the weapon. So it's very bad to use it because let's say you're not damaged, you didn't take no health damage, you just want to switch to your TNT, then all of a sudden you drop your weapons. So that's not a good idea. So dropping weapons is something that really you would have to decide to and not to do. I would decide that from all the different buttons, I cannot see any button that will be of a good advantage with regards to this, because the sprint button is for you to sprint. If you make the drop button the sprint button, all of a sudden you drop your button and you're sprinting. The R3 button is for you to breathe heavily, breathe down sight, breathe breathe heavily, aim down sight, and then you breathe in again. So the moment you aim your weapon and then you press the R3 button to breathe, all of a sudden you just let go of your weapon and you're breathing heavily down sight, but you have no weapon in your arm. So every button in your command is necessary. Um, so dropping weapon is very finicky. You really have to decide what button you were going to use if you're going to use drop weapons. I wouldn't recommend it unless you know what you're doing. So that was pretty much the advanced tutorial with regards to the game. I'm going to now start the game and play for maybe about an hour and see how things go from there. The best one that I came up with regards to switching off weapons and um, aiming in combat and moving in combat was the right directional button on your controller, because it goes straight to the pistol arrows and you could cap off a few rounds the moment you switch and you see the enemy in front of you. Like especially if you press down on the square button twice, double tap on square to defend a command, and then you aim with the R1 to tag an enemy location. And let's say a group of them just came in and cap everyone, and you're the last man standing. When you switch bodies, you could still, your pistol arrows will be out and you'll be able to cap as many times as you want. You'll probably die, but at least you'll take one or two of the bastards with you rather than trying to shoot one round out of your rifle and hopefully kill the guy if you didn't miss at all. So yeah, I would say in a situation like that, always rock guys that are carrying automatics as their primaries, or an automatic as a secondary, or a pistol that could fire at a fast rate as a secondary, um, with moderate damage. So that's it. That's it. That's all I can say in regards to this. So I'm going to play the game and have some fun now. So let's see. Did I decrease the volume of the game? Sounds like it. Options. Game. Sound. No, the sound's all the way up. The ambient sound's down because I'm not interested in ambient sounds. But I do need the effects. Another thing with regards to the game, if you have the sound effects in the game all the way up, you'll be